It was driving me nuts. The little oddity I have. Oh, that's nice. Hi, I'm Sock Marionette, doing business as Bargain Counter Argument, and I'm a middle-aged lady in a tiara talking about books. And today, it's an unhaul. Usually when I do an unhaul, it's because I'm returning books to the library, but this is an actual unhaul of physical books that I own, and I'm ready to set free into the wider world. And I have quite a few... I don't know what just happened there. I have quite a few of these books, so I'm probably going to do this as two separate videos. So I'm going to start with the books that are not going to the used bookstore. I have some that are going to a friend and some that are going to little free libraries, but none of them are going to used bookstores. So I'm going to start, I think, with the one that I'm sending to a friend. Well, actually, it's a bunch of books, and these are Wardrobe Malfunction. Oopsie. These are the Seven Sisters books by Lucinda Riley. Woohoo! Aren't they pretty? I have mismatched sets that I've been picking up at library sales here and there. And it was driving me nuts that they were mismatched. So I decided to go ahead and order them online. I got the full set because I knew that these ones that I've been picking up for $1 or $2 at the library sales, I could take into the used bookstore and get a credit for 25% of the cover price. And they're around $17 each, $17, $18 each. So, you know, that's a pretty good chunk of change. I got the new ones in the mail during one of my live streams, which are at 2 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday afternoons or mornings or evenings, depending on where you live. But for me, it's 2 p.m. Eastern. And I got the box and I opened it on camera because people like to see that sort of thing. And I showed them off and I was talking about the Seven Sisters series. And one of my regular attendees said, "Oh, I've been meaning to read those." And I was like, well, I was going to take my set that doesn't match to the used bookstore for credit, but, you know, I could probably send them along to you. So she and I reached an agreement offline, and I will be sending them to her. Also, by the way, if you're intrigued by these after I describe them, they are available on Kindle Unlimited. Okay, the idea is that this fabulously wealthy and elusive and mysterious billionaire has adopted 6 women from all over the world. And he dies, and when they assemble for the reading of the will, each of them gets like a letter or a clue or something so that she, if she wants to, she can find her birth family. So each sister has her own story. And it's 7 sisters because he adopted 6 women, but there's actually a missing sister. So anyway, so each book is about a different sister's sort of quest, journey, odyssey to find her her birth family, her origins, her heritage. And the first book, she goes to Rio de Janeiro. And then I believe it's told in dual timelines. So going back to about 100 years ago in Rio de Janeiro, and also the woman in the present, well, like the 2010s is when this was written, I think, finding out the information about her past, her family's past. And then the second book, The Moon Sister, I believe we're going to Norway, Aurora Borealis. The Shadow Sister is in the Lake District in England. I believe that the story in the past includes Beatrix Potter, but I'm not sure. I know she's mentioned, but I don't know if she's an actual character with dialogue. And I'm not sure if I have these in the correct order. The Pearl Sister, Australia. The Moon Sister, Spain. The Sun Sister, Kenya. And finally, the Missing Sister is where all 6 sisters get together and try to find this missing sister. So there's an 8th book. Lucinda Riley unfortunately died fairly young. She was only about 56 and she had cancer of the esophagus. And in her last year or so of life, she was writing bits of an 8th book in this series Atlas, the story of Pa Salt. Pa Salt is the rich dude who adopted all of these sisters. And so she had a lot of notes, she had a lot written, she had it outlined, she had character sketches and so on. And then her son, Harry Whitaker, finished the series for her. That's kind of like a bonus book, and I am not sending that to my buddy because she didn't ask for it specifically, and I have been keeping an eye out for at the library sales I've been going to for that book, but I haven't been able to find it because I have my own copy, and if I see it, I will send it along to her separately as a bonus. Again, these are, if any of this sounds intriguing to you, these are all available on Kindle Unlimited. So this is a box that is going to be going to the post office. I hope sooner rather than later. Okay, so that's that. And then let's see what else I have here. I have Plagueland by Alex Scarrow, which is, I believe it's the first book in a series. I'm not sure if I think it's YA. I just ended up with 2 copies of it. I haven't read it yet, and I think I have the entire series, but I'm not sure. I haven't read it yet. I just have more than 1 copy, and I don't need more than 1 copy. And the reason this is going to the library rather than to a little free library rather than to the bookstore is that it is a deaccessioned library copy. So those, I think, are better off in little free libraries. Most bookstores won't take them. And another decommissioned library book is Breathless by Beverly Jenkins. And I enjoyed this book a lot. I like Beverly Jenkins, but I didn't feel the need to keep my own copy of it. And it is a large print edition. So I'm either going to drop this off at a little free library, or I'm thinking I might actually, I have several large print editions because I do enjoy reading those sometimes when my eyes are tired. I'm thinking I might wait until I have more accumulated and then maybe take them to a retirement home, or there's a rehab place near here, which is near where I live. There's a rehab place, which is for people recovering from injuries or strokes or whatever, and they might have some patients who would prefer to read a larger print work. So I'll check in with them, and if they don't want it, I'll put it in the little free library. Another little oddity I have is this book, Sold by Jashik Mikolashik. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. He is a gentleman who is a local realtor here in Connecticut, and he is Polish-American. I immigrated from Poland and now is an American. We have a lot of people in central Connecticut who immigrated from Poland, or their parents did. So that's not at all unusual, especially since I think my mom and I, before the pandemic, we used to go to open houses just to see what was out there. And I specifically wanted to go to the house he had listed because it looked like it was in a nice neighborhood. It is, in Farmington. And also because at the time I was getting ready to paint my bedroom, and I wanted to paint it in white with gray trim. And the house that he was listing had been painted in, not white with gray trim, the other way around, gray with white trim. Anyway, the house that he was listing had been painted, I think the people were still living in it, but I think they had repainted the rooms just to spruce it up a bit. And they had painted it in gray with white trim, but they had used different shades of gray and different shades of white in different rooms. It wasn't like jarring, but I wanted to go take a look just to see how it looked. And I was, just to see it and decide whether or not that was really what I wanted to do with my bedroom. Spoiler alert, it was. Sold. Anyway, this guy, he was just so energetic and so friendly, and he really seemed to have things on the ball. And he had written this booklet, and he handed it to us, and he says, if you want to sell your house, and we're like, no, we're just kind of looking to look. And he says, oh, that's fine, but if you do, here's my booklet that I wrote about like what you can do to help make your house marketable and what you can do to market it. So I'm not going to need this or use it. So I'm going to put it in a little free library, and maybe somebody will find some use out of it. That's the hope. Or maybe he'll get a client. Okay. And then I have one middle grade that I am deaccessioning, and that is Bunnicula by James and Deborah Howe. And this is funny because a few weeks ago during a live stream, Tara of Tara Talks Books was talking about Bunnicula, And I was like, have I heard, that book sounds familiar. And they described it. I was like, oh, that sounds fun. And then just like a couple of days later, I was at a tag sale, which is New England for garage sale kind of. This is a church tag sale where, various parishioners, donate stuff. And then they have a big tag sale once a month during the spring, summer, and fall. And I was going through the books and I found it. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll grab this. And I read it. I enjoyed it. I am going to put it in a little free library so somebody else can read it and enjoy it. It's also funny because I remember when I was in elementary school, which, trust me, was a very long time ago, there was this this girl I knew, and she had everybody over for a sleepover, and it was fun. She and I rode the same bus, and I asked her once what her favorite book was, and she said Bunnicula, except that I thought she said Funicula. Funicula, like the thing that, goes up the side of a mountain. And she said, it's about a dog and a cat who make friends with a rabbit. And I was like, oh, that's nice. I was kind of reading above my grade level at that point, and it sounded like it was maybe a story about animals traveling up the side of a mountain in a funicula, and I don't know. As it turns out, that is not what it is about at all. It was a combination of her rather vague description and my not hearing exactly what she was saying. And I probably would have enjoyed this had I read that at the time. I certainly enjoyed it now. So another book, and I'm not sure if I'm going to donate this to a little free library or a school or something. I don't know. It's kind of not particularly useful now that we have the internet. And this is Deutsche Wörterbuch. And this is a German dictionary, and it's not a German English dictionary. It's just a German dictionary. So like when you look up the word, you get the description of what it is in German. You look up a word in German, you get the description in German, just like an English dictionary. Okay, it's not dual. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not dual language. It's not bilingual. It's not a translation dictionary. There we go. That's the word I wanted. This is not a translation dictionary. It's just a dictionary. But now that we have the internets, I don't really need it. Reference books in general are kind of outdated. So I guess that's something I could do. It had just now occurred to me that maybe I can use it for paper craft. Something to think about. Maybe I won't put it in the trunk of my car just yet. This is me. Don't you enjoy watching me make decisions in real time? I have Title by Amanda Hocking. This is YA. I don't even think it's the first book in the series. I think the first book in the series is Wake. Or not. I don't have my reading glasses handy, and it's kind of dim back here. This is a deaccession library book. I have this book already. So I grabbed it at a library sale. It was like, fill up your bag for like $5 or something. And I was like, oh, do I have that or not? At $5 for an entire bag full of books, I can afford to grab it just in case. And it turned out that I didn't actually need it. So it can go into a little free library. And then I have 3 mass market paperbacks, all dupes, oh, wait a second. This is not a library deaccession book. It's not in great shape, but I can totally take that to the used bookstore. Again, don't you enjoy watching me discover things and make decisions in real time? However, I have Waiting for a Scot Like You by Ava Lee. I just have a different copy, a better copy. And I like Ava Lee a lot. So I haven't actually read this one yet, but I like her stuff a lot. I just don't need 2 copies of it. And Wicked Nights by Gina Showalter. Again, I haven't read it yet, and I already have a copy. So, little free library for you. So those are my little free library and one that I am sending to a friend. And yeah, so that's this Unhaul. And I have another, like I said, I have another entire bag, which I think has more books in it than I just showed, that is going to the used bookstore. I'm going to hold off on recording that video because this one's already long enough, I think. And I want to do that closer to when I actually take them to the library, to the used bookstore, so that I can update you with how much credit I got and what I purchased after I turned those in. So yeah, that's the Unhaul. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you liked what you saw here, like, comment, share, subscribe, or don't. I am not the boss of you. And I hope you have a good day or night.